Your personality, your personal experiences, your personal realities will develop personality of their own. And if you don't address them, then you won't have a smooth rhythm of yourself. You won't have a smooth amalgam of yourself. What you will have is all of these different entities that you will rigidly tap into through survival. But when you have this swirling whirl of all that is you won't feel so separate from yourself. It'll just all be you fluidly. You just got to learn to blend yourself and need yourself and work yourself and love yourself and breathe and stretch and heal and sing and hum and hug. And you'll flow. You'll find the river of your life. You'll flow. You'll flow in your own life. You got to find your rhythm. You got to find the rhythm for your life. You got to find your rhythm. And if you don't find your rhythm for your life and all of these parts of your life are offbeat, then you will feel fucked up continuously. You will. You will feel very fucked up very, very, very continuously if you don't find that rhythm for your life. You got to find your rhythm. You got to find your rhythm. You got to get in the groove of your life. Because if you don't, you're going to be feeling offbeat and fucked up repetitiously. And oftentimes when we don't have the rhythm for our life, when we don't have a groove for our life, we don't have a comprehension, we don't have a comprehensive understanding for our own existence in our life, we be offbeat and fucked up. Have you ever seen somebody offbeat? Have you ever seen somebody like trying to dance and they can't catch the fucking beat and they can't have you ever seen somebody like they just can't catch the beat and they trying so hard and they look crazy. Like they will literally look fucking nuts. But all they're trying to do is catch the beat and move their body in the rhythm. But they can't catch the beat because they're not in cohesion. They don't have a cohesive, stick to it, flow with it relationship with themselves and with their bodies and with the atmosphere and with their experiences. So you got to go in yourself and you got to dig in deep and you got to find that rhythm. And sometimes it'll be hard. And that's all right, because sometimes you need that bass. And sometimes it'll be light and it'll flutter. And sometimes that's all right too. But sometimes you need to knock that shit like an 808. Sometimes you need that bass. Sometimes you need that. So when life come and hit your ass hard and knock you on the ground, if you learn the rhythm of your life instead of it knocking your ass on the ground, you can catch that motherfucking bass and you can ride that shit on out. And you got to learn how to catch the bass in your own life and ride that shit on out. And if you're not in conscious comprehension with yourself, you won't catch the beat. You won't. So you got to learn. You got to learn yourself. You got to do whatever is necessary to learn your motherfucking self, baby. And it take time. It take time. It really does. It take time. Sometimes, you can manifest into this life and you can have, your ancient wisdoms from past lives that flow with you. And certain things will be so natural for you. And there'll be things that other people, fumble their way through and struggle their way through. And it'll just be like it come natural to you. And it'll be like you have common sense, Common sense is not common. It's not. But people who have common sense are people who don't necessarily have to learn as hard as other people because they're like, you know what? That don't make sense to me. But common sense is developed in those stages between the age of 0 to 6 years old. And most people who we feel like have common sense are the people who were programmed from the age of 0 to 6 years old of how the basis of life worked. A lot of those people who have common sense were protected differently, they were provided for differently, or they learned how to process trauma really early because they had somebody on their team that was working with them even in a fucked up situation. So they may have had one aspect of their life that was really jacked up, but they may have had an asset in someone else that could see and identify their value and to tuck wisdoms in their deck cards of life and, in the deck of their life. So by the time that they got to a certain age, certain things were common sense to them because they still had somebody that knew guiding them through. But when you don't have anybody that knows, that is guiding you through, then you will end up oftentimes learning really hard. I mean, really, 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 really hard in ways that people would look at you and be like, I don't even know how you can't see that. I don't even know why you didn't feel that. I don't even know how you struggled through that. And it's because nobody ever taught them. And you can only do what you've learned. And if nobody ever taught you how to protect yourself, then you're going to be out here fucked up and unprotected until you learn how to protect yourself. And in order for you to learn how to protect yourself, not only will you have the scars to prove it, but you got to learn how to trust yourself. And if you have invested a lot of time in fucking yourself up, then you have compromised the relationship with yourself so significantly that you will be willing to trust a stranger before you trust yourself. That means that intuition of yours, that even when it's screaming at you, you will convince yourself that you are wrong in order to trust somebody else because you have abandoned yourself long ago because you allowed the circumstantial positions of life to convince you that you shouldn't even trust you. And there is an innate wisdom that is inside of us. There's an innate wisdom. There is something that you have naturally. Now, life experiences, life situations, folly, all of that shit can compromise it significantly. But you have something inside of you that just knows. And if you're not cultivated in an environment that grows what knows, then you're going to be fucked up frequently until you decide to stop the track in your life. Unlearn the bullshit that you've already learned that you think you know so well. And a lot of us know that bullshit real well. So it's very, very challenging to unlearn the things that you've been practicing for so long that you feel like you know so well. It's kind of like knowing the words to a song that you don't like. And the song can be on in the background and you will find yourself singing the song or saying the words to the song. Not because you like the song, not because you want to sing along, but because you know it so well, you just get in the groove of it automatically. So you got to stop and you got to consciously stop yourself. And you got to do something different. The greatest way to stop yourself when you've been in a significant self-sabotage frequency is you have to shock your body and then reason with logic. That means you got to get your body out of a place of comfortability. And you got to get real unfamiliar in a place. And then when you're in that very unfamiliar place, all of your antennae is up. All of your frequencies are open. All of your awareness is exposed. And you are now ready for new downloads. But you won't receive the downloads properly if you are still in a familiar place that you think you know. So that may look like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, taking a hot shower, then finishing with a cold shower, and then doing your affirmations while the shower is running ice cold all over your body. When your physical body is in complete and utter shock. Like, what the fuck are you doing to me? This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right. Why are you doing this to me? And then you start downloading into your program again. And you start training yourself again. You start relearning again.